What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. Hey, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. I don't know how we chewed through another month, but here we are. So just in case you're all turkeyed out, let's switch back to beef for an episode. Today, I am pleased to show you one of my favorite things to cook, poor man's brisket. So we're gonna do this just like we did the Labor Day brisket, just on a smaller scale. We're going to dry brine it. We're going to season it in a very similar way, so stick around for that. We're gonna wrap it in saran wrap, just like the instructions we followed said. Pretty much all the same stuff, just on a, several less pounds. Guys, thank you for hanging out with me today. You gotta check this out. You gotta try this at home. So, from the YouTube channel that says try this at home, well, come on. Well, come on. No, come on, you in the back. Come on, let's get cooking. All right, we're gonna start out with this 2.6 pound chuck roast. I found this at Traeger, and would you look at the marbling on that? That's a pretty good pick right there. So as I said earlier, we are going to start out by dry brining this. So step one, pat it dry with a paper towel. And then we're going to evenly coat it with kosher salt. This is coarse ground. That's my favorite, but that's not a requirement. And so once we get it all nice and evenly coated all the way around, including the sides, I'm going to go ahead and put it in the refrigerator for 12 hours on the drying rack. And then we're going to follow along with kind of the similar method that I did for Labor Day. After 12 hours, we're going to add more flavor, and this time I'm using this Traeger beef rub. Now it does have additional salt in it. So what I'm doing here is I'm kind of running a little bit of an experiment. It might come out a little too salty. I don't know. So make sure you stick around to find out with me. So just kind of doing the same thing that I did with the salt. Nice, even 360-degree coverage. And then, as the Traeger website says on their backyard brisket barbecue recipe, they want this to sit in the fridge for 12 hours, wrapped in saran wrap or cling wrap or plastic wrap, or I'm not sure what the technical name for this is, but we're going to do just that. So once the additional seasoning has been applied, I'm going to go ahead and short myself. Way to go, man. Yeah, good thing it's an easy remedy. So we're going to get that nice and wrapped up into the fridge for another 12 hours. And then the following day, I'm going to go ahead and get the Traeger fired up. And of course it's raining. I mean, why wouldn't it be raining? So it's fine. That's what raincoats are for. And of course, I also have seemed to misplaced my brush, so we got a rob from Weber to pay Traeger. That's not a real saying, but roll with it. So we're going to give it a good scrub. Make sure to put that back away so I can find it next time I need it. And preheat the Traeger. This has been sitting outside of the fridge for about an hour so that we don't shock it. Just kind of giving it a little bit of advantage, getting to room temperature. And you want to avoid that fat vein there. And with the ThermoPro TempSpike, I love this thing, we're going to put it in the thickest part of the chuck, up to the line. And once the Traeger is up to temperature, I have it set at 225 degrees. I'm going to place it directly in the middle. And just be sure if you're using a ThermoPro that you bring the base station out. All right, so we're not quite to 160, but we are 100% in the stall on my chunk of poor man's brisket. Can't remember if I mentioned this or not, but I'm cooking two today. One's going to mom and dad's, and then one is just for me because I'm a Wolverine. That's what I've been filming for you guys. So when you see two in here, don't get confused. You want to see what we got going on here? Oh, yeah. So the back one with the black probe is mine, and the white one is going to mom and dad's for their party. Mine is at the stall. Theirs is a few degrees off. So we're going to real quick wrap mine, and then I'm gonna crank the temperature up to 250, just so I don't miss my deadline. This one's a little more important than my party. The ambient temperature of the smoker is a little bit lower than I care for it. So when I plan for 225, we're dragging around 211 to 217. So I'm just gonna, I put a little time at the end to account for this, but I'm a little concerned that that's all gonna get chewed up again, and I don't wanna miss this deadline. So let me get another camera set up over here. We're gonna wrap my brisket. We're calling it a brisket, you know what I mean. And we'll just go from there, okay? Here we go. All right, so let me get some stuff out of the way here. As you have seen me do before, I like to wear my knit gloves first. And this just keeps me protected from burning myself. And then on the outside, I wear a pair of rubber gloves. And that keeps any fats or oils from getting into the knit gloves and completely undermining what we're preparing for. So, it's like trying to shove a 5-gallon hand into a 2-gallon bucket. I'm gonna go ahead and tear us off some paper. That ought to be more than enough. And then this is just tap water. Give it a good spritz. And if you haven't seen the Labor Day brisket, what that does is it keeps this paper from soaking up all the moisture from the brisket. You don't want that. So let's go ahead and grab this guy. It's pretty. Look at that. It smells so good. Put him down here. Make sure to close the lid as that guy's still going. One of the things I forgot to cover in the intro for this one is when you're cooking a chuck roast, there's no fat cap. So that is not something you have to worry about. I'm just gonna fold them like a present here. Don't worry about that beeping. That's because I had the lid open too long. See about keeping our probe out properly. And fold everything under like that. We still have the probe. And back in like so. Let's clear that alarm real quick. Okay. So Mom and Dad's is at 149. Mine's at 158. I'm going to crank the temperature just a little bit up to the next notch to hopefully not miss our deadline. It's 2 o'clock. I need to leave out of here by 4:30. See what happens. All right. I'm not going to show you guys that because this video is about mine. See you guys in a bit. Well, we made it. Got it up to 203 degrees in about the time I had planned for. It's rested for a few minutes. What do you say we unwrap this like a Christmas present and see what we did? It's a little warm. I'm gonna put my gloves back on. The fingers are being reluctant to go where they belong. Okay. Oh, baby. Is that not beautiful or what? I love these things. Wow. See if we can not make a mess here. That thing is beautiful. Let me find a knife. Wow. Look at that. That's how you know it's perfect. Mmm. Can you see that? Wow. I need one more piece. As I mentioned earlier, this is for me. I'm not going to cut it up all on camera. I'm going to let it cool down to room temperature, and then I'll cube some, I'll slice some, and I'm going to snack on this for a few days. Oh my gosh. I know I've told you guys before, I'm not a big fan of store-bought seasonings that are already mixed. But this one from Traeger, very good. As I suspected, it's a little salty because I dry brined it, and then the seasoning had some salt in it. It's certainly not overpowering though. I really like that. So guys, check the description below for the instructions. I'm gonna let this cool down. That's it for Poor Man's Brisket for this episode. We'll do more with this later and other devices and who knows, this, that, and the other thing. Guys, I thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Hey, until next time, be well.